The Alliance for European Flax-Linen and Hemp welcomes you to this updated Flax-Linen tutorial on subcontractors. Following the publication on October 22nd, 2024 of the European Flax Standard and Certification Process version 3.1. Why a tutorial on subcontractors? Subcontractors are essential partners in the textiles value chains. They allow certified companies to offer a wider range of services, of transformations, and of products to their clients. But since they handle or transform certified materials and goods, how does the European Flax standard take them into account? What requirements does it set to guarantee the traceability of certified products along the value chains? What exactly are subcontractors? To start simply, subcontractors are not suppliers. For example, Company B buys certified input materials from Company A, who is B's supplier. And B, in turn, is C's supplier. Company B outsources work on their certified materials to Company D, their subcontractor. The differentiating element here is the ownership of the certified materials. Throughout the outsourced process, the contracting organization, Company B, manages the purchase and the sale of the certified materials and retains the ownership of these materials while they are transformed at D. The subcontractors D invoices only the service or the activity provided to the contracting organization, not the product. Within a certified value chain, all steps must be European Flax certified, including processing or trading. This means that companies A, B, and C must be certified. But that is not the case for Company D. European Flax certification is not required for subcontractors that are not legal owners of the materials or products. However, activities that are subcontracted must appear in the certificate scope of the contracting organization, while the subcontractors themselves do not. In our example, Company B's certification scope will have to include subcontractor D's activity, weaving. Another thing that subcontractors cannot be in a European Flax certified process is related to the contracting organization. Common ownership is an ownership structure where all sites under the scope of the European Flax certificate are owned by the same organization. Ownership means at least 51% of ownership interest over the sites. Any company with a common ownership link with your own cannot be your subcontractor. Instead, to handle or transform certified materials or goods, related companies must either each hold their own certificate or be part of a multi-site certificate as the certificate holder or a subsite. More on multi-site certificates in our next tutorial. Now, what are the other requirements for subcontractors in the European Flax standard? The contracting organization and the subcontractor must sign an agreement where the subcontractor commits to ensuring the traceability of the certified material from input to output with the same level of requirements as certified companies. This means having a traceability system throughout the entire processes, with physical segregation of certified materials in space and time, identification by permanent physical markers at each step, documentary or software tracking, and record keeping. When composition tests are applicable, the subcontractor shall also keep a sample of each reference produced as European Flax for a minimum of 2 years after production. Subcontractors also commit to submitting to on-site controls by the organization and or the certification body, and to requesting the approval of the contracting organization before outsourcing to other subcontractors. Subcontractors of subcontractors must go through the same process and requirements, must appear on the subcontractors list of the contracting organization, and their activity must be included in the scope of their certificate. Production orders and delivery notes from the subcontractors, as key elements for tracking certified materials, must clearly identify each lot of certified material and be kept for records. Please note that a subcontractor shall not use the certificate number of the contracting organization on any document. What should a certified company do before working with subcontractors under their European Flax certificate? The organization shall, first, ensure the conformity of their subcontractors to the criteria we have just seen by performing internal audits. Then, sign a contract with them. Finally, they must establish and keep up to date their list of subcontractors for their next audits with Bureau Veritas. This list is verified by the certification body during each audit of the contracting organization. The activities of a company's subcontractors shall be included in their certification scope, but subcontractors themselves are not. The list must be kept up to date over time. Changes of subcontractors are allowed, but must be recorded with addition or removal dates and internal audit reports. If adding a subcontractor to the list extends the scope of activities for which the contracting organization is certified, then the new scope shall be validated by the certification body through an additional audit. A new certificate, including the updated scope of activities, shall be emitted. That's right, the addition of new subcontractors can lead to a new audit at the organization's expenses, so we advise to add them at the time of your surveillance or renewal audits. Organizations must perform yearly internal audits of all their subcontractors to verify compliance to the European Flax standards requirements. These internal audits vary in type throughout time and depending on the risk level of the outsourced activities. For example, subcontractors involved in low-risk activities such as hackling and product manufacturing and product fabric or yarn finishing or warehousing shall only be audited internally on a documentary basis before their inclusion in the list of subcontractors, and then at least once a year. Subcontractors involved in medium to high risk level activities shall be audited internally by the contracting organization on site before their inclusion in the list and before the renewal of the contracting organization's certificate. For the remaining years, medium and high risk level subcontractors' yearly internal audits shall be performed off-site on a documentary basis. What should internal audits consist of? Internal audits shall verify that traceability procedures at the subcontractors are written, that the employees are aware of them and implement them. They must ensure that, from input to output, at each step, certified materials are physically segregated or identified with physical markers, and that they are tracked by documentary or software system. A sample of production orders for certified products shall be verified for actual traceability. And the internal audit reports must be recorded and demonstrates the verification of the above. Please note that the Alliance has developed a checklist to guide companies performing internal audits of their subcontractors. You can download it from the Certifications Technical Documents page on our site. Subcontractors may become European Flax certified themselves, in which case the verification consists of checking the validity of their certificate and that its scope covers the outsourced activity. No internal audit is necessary in that case. Bureau Veritas audits check that the contracting organization has performed these internal audits of all their subcontractors through requested documents during each audit of the organization. During the first surveillance audit of the contracting organization, in year 2, subcontractors may also be audited on site by the certification body based on the risk level of fiber blending of their activity. The sampling rules for these on-site audits and the risk level of outsourced activities are shown here. Again, when a subcontractor has a valid European Flax certificate for the outsourced activity, they are exempt from such on-site audits by the certification body and exempt from internal audits by the contracting organization.